Hello, everyone.
And welcome to Tom's YouTube channel.
Yeah,
No, it's the AARMY Podcast.
we have quite the theory for you today, guys. This is gonna be our first podcast in the game theory series. For a while now, people have been trying to connect all of the COD games, like saying we know that the Modern Warfare, at least the original three, and the Black Ops games are supposed to be connected, but there's always been one issue. And that's everyone's favorite little man there. Well, not little man, but he's a big man. Captain Price. The problem with Captain Price is he shows up in the 40s, the 80s, and the 2000s. So for him to fight in World War II, that would mean he would have had to have been born in like 1910 or 20, which would make him about 106 years old.
If it's the 1940s, Captain Price was born in.
Because if he's in his 30s or 40s,
he was born in like 1898.
So here's the theory. Basically, we're gonna go through it. There are 3 slides here, connecting all the games and explaining how the theory works. So, you want to start off with reading the first one here, Brian?
Yeah, I will. All right.
So it's the 2.
Call of Duty 2. Now, I'm pretty sure this was the second game based off of World War II.
Yeah.
But Captain Price's father fights in World War II. His name is also John Price, outside of Captain Price. And they would both be part of the SAS, which Captain Price, the one that we know is like Modern Warfare, is actually a junior.
Yeah. So, the next 2, so that's Call of Duty 1 and 2. The next 2 games happened from the 1960s to the 80s. It's Black Ops 1. Okay, so that was Call of Duty 1 and 2, which happened in the 1940s. So, right in between there, we've got the real Captain Price is born, 1953. You'll see what that means later.
Yeah.
Then we've got the 1960s to 1980s, which is 1 and 2. Black Ops 1 and 2. And this is where Mason is brainwashed with a program called MK Ultra. And that proves that mind control exists. So, if you want to read the Cold War one, Brian, you can go right ahead.
1982 to 1984, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The Price 84 operator skin appears as apparently a clone of the original Captain Price because it doesn't make sense for him to be alive.
Yep.
As the original. Original Captain Price is sent back in time to gain combat experience and replace his real self.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure he had to kill his real self.
In 1985, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have
MK Ultra is further experimented with, showing the US that MK Ultra can transfer memories.
Yeah. So in the game, Adler transfers his memories of Vietnam to Bell, which is going to be important in later games for the whole clone theory. Okay, we've got the second slide here. So we've got Modern Warfare 2019, and what a lot of you guys don't know is this is actually a prequel game. So this happens like the year before Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 1, right? Captain Price, the clone of Captain Price, right? He has orders on what to do, right? So he makes Task Force 141 at the end of that game, which shows us that it's a prequel to these 3. And he also meets Gaz, which would become a part of Task Force 141. Now we've got 4, 2, and Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 for you, Brian.
Hold up. Modern Warfare 4 was on the Nintendo DS?
Yes, it was. So were all of the other COD games. There was always a version made for the Nintendo. It looked like polygons, but yeah.
The clone Captain Price would carry out his orders from the future to ensure Makarov and Zakhaev don't cause a world war. The clone would be replaced in the Gulag due to the first clone's mistreatment there, 2011 and 2016. Now, this is when they go to rescue Prisoner 627, they actually torment Captain Price and kill him, and then replace him again with another clone
Yeah.
as Captain Price when Soap goes to meet Captain Price. So he's still Captain Price. He just has multiple different forms.
Yeah, so then we have Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, one of the least known COD games. Here's the problem with Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare. They weren't bad games, there were much better COD games before and after them.
Oh, and if we can get MW2, RIP Roach and Ghost, and then MW3, RIP Soap.
That's Soap on the cover of it right there.
In the comments.
Yeah. So, Infinite Warfare takes place in 2016 to 2025, so right after this. And we learn the real Captain Price was born in 1953. And here comes the confusion. If we look around, Captain Price has two birth dates, right? 1953 and 1985. That makes no sense. So what it really is the real true Captain Price, son of John Price from the first two COD games in World War II, was born in 1953. His clone from the future would be sent back in time in 1985 and kill himself. The clone would kill the real one because he was getting old and take his place, pretending to be his son. So pretending to be the original John Price's grandson. Okay, we can move on here. You can read Black Ops 3.
So Black Ops 3, Winslow Accord and the Common Defense Pact are in a Cold War, and we see the development of new breed of Black Ops soldiers in 2025 to 2065.
Yes, okay. And Black Ops 4. Now, this is where most of the theorizing takes place in this game, because we see in this game a clone of Woods, who was about dead for around 30 years at this point. So we know that they can clone people.
It's like 150.
Yeah. So, in Black Ops 4, we are shown that they have cloning tech, because obviously the clone of Woods. And this is where they would clone Captain Price, right? The one born in 1953. They would take his DNA from when he was an old man about to be dead, and they would clone him. They would use the earlier mentioned mind control technology, MK Ultra, that could implant memories to implant the original Captain Price's memories into the clone, just like they did with Bell. And then they would send him back to 1985 to gain 18 years of combat experience all the way up to 2011. And in 1985, he would kill his own real self. And then he would come back pretending to be his own son in Modern Warfare 1 to 3. So he was sent back in time because in Black Ops 4, they realized that way back when Makarov and Zakayev were trying to start a war between Russia and America, that if they succeeded, then the world would end. And they realized that the only reason they didn't succeed was because of Captain Price, so they cloned him to make sure he wouldn't be too old to not complete the mission, sent him back in time to complete it. So, the reason he has gray hair in those games is because the clone was cloned off of an old man, and his DNA was altered to have that gray hair.
Oh, and you know what the even weirder part is? I'm watching this guy play Modern Warfare 1, and he walks right up to Captain Price, and you see his face like this close. And in Modern Warfare 1, Captain Price has gray hair.
Yeah. So, the reason he has gray hair is because he's a clone of an old man.
Yeah, but in Modern Warfare 2, I mean, like, the gray starts to show, like, especially in the remastered one, where the graphics look good, his hair is very gray. It's grayer than in Modern Warfare 2.
And, this all happens in the year 2065, which is why I think it's reasonable they would have time technology, because back in the original 3 games, there is a reference to a bearded man creating time travel.
Yeah, which is also... A lot of people think a bearded man creates time travel. Everyone started saying, oh, Captain Price created time travel.
What I think is that Captain Price would be cloned in the year 2065 by the same person who cloned Woods in order for him to fight in the blackout stuff, right? And they would send him back to ensure that the world would not get ended way back in these 3 games when Makarov and Zakayev were trying to kill everyone, right?
Wait, who was Makarov and Zakayev were in Infinite Warfare too?
No, they were in 1, 2, and 3. And Zakayev was in Cold War.
Wait, what does Infinite War have to do with it now?
This is when we learn that Captain Price has a second birthday of 1953. Because this happens in the future. And they... Right,
Wait,
2025.
Captain Price in Infinite Warfare?
No, he's not. I'm pretty sure he's not, but we are told that Captain Price was born in 1953, even though we've already been told he was born in 1985. Well, what really happened is this birth date is the original Captain Price, and the 1985 is the clone Captain Price pretending to be his son. So, in Black Ops 3 is when they start developing like higher technology, like they get the exoskeletons, jetpacks, all of that, and they began experimenting with genetic modification, which eventually leads towards the cloning, which they do in this game, which is how they clone the Captain Price. But that's how we've connected all the games here. So it starts over in Call of Duty 1 and 2 with Captain Price's father. That's the Captain Price that's in there. And then the real one would be born in 1953 and die in 1985. And here is when we first get shown MK Ultra, which can implant the memories of the original one. So he's born here, gets killed here by his own clone. His clone would get sent back to 1984 and become the Price 84 operator. And then here, the clone creates Task Force 141 like he was told to do in order to ensure that in these games they stop Makarov and Zakayev. He does exactly what he's told. He purposefully gets captured into the Gulag because the clone was wearing down at that point, so they can go into the Gulag.
See, here's the only bad part about this. There's only one way that this can be proven wrong, and that's if Raven put in Price 84 as a exclusive item for Cold War to make profit off of it. That is the only way, and that could be true. And if Price 84 is because the bios for the characters just copy and paste from Captain Price and Modern Warfare. If you go onto the Cold War one, it's the same. Part of Task Force, created Task Force 141, part of the British SAS. That Raven isn't part of Cold Warzone anymore.
Good. They have not been making good decisions.
No. And me and Dylan thought this entire time it was Activision who was calling the shots. Now it's Sledgehammer Games in Activision.
Yeah.
So, Ravens and Activision is actually... I heard Raven wasn't allowing Activision to do anything either.
Yeah.
So, I guess Raven isn't going to be producing future things in Call of Duty. And now I know why the game has been published, because me and Dylan have been like, oh yeah, it's just Activision. But, no, we were wrong.